Evening, Shaymen. Talking Shaymen podcast. I'm joined by a new guest, Luke. He runs a Twitter page on Twitter, and I'm also joined by Rob. Rob, firstly, do you have any supporters club information?
Yeah, it's the AGM this Saturday at the Shay, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Where we'll be looking for new members. We'll be also looking for new volunteers. We're looking for some match day volunteers, perhaps just an hour each match day to help us raise some money and do a few things for us. We're also looking for a supporter liaison person, so we can join our committee and come and tell us about all the good ideas that people have got and, try and give us some feedback, things like a supporters club, coaches, why aren't they running, things like that. Whatever. So we're open for more volunteers to come and join us. AGM on Saturday. Also, the polo shirts are on sale still. Great Christmas gifts. I've got to admit, I actually didn't think they'd be this good, but they're brilliant. I bought two.
I love mine.
They're fantastic quality, aren't they? Really good.
Yeah,
and any colour, any size, contact at Halifax Club and Phil will sort you out. But they're brilliant. So get your Christmas ordered in quickly and have them ready for you.
Good price as well. I think, is it only £20 as well?
Only 20 quid, yeah. And course party, 20 quid goes as a contribution towards the club. So it's great.
Yeah, brilliant. Finally, we've got, obviously a lot of you will know, we've got a shirt giveaway here, and it's a signed shirt, and I found out from Shaymen stats, it was 2004 to 5 season, or was it 3 to 4? I'm not exactly sure one of them seasons, but there were many great players playing in that era. So it was the old club. I don't know if, obviously you know about the old club more than me, because you're a lot older than me, both of you. But yeah, it's a giveaway. We've got loads of entries so far from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's going to be really hard. It's really good, this, because it's going to be hard for someone to win it. And yeah, we've got loads of ideas how to present that out. So here it is. Rob, thanks for sorting this out for me.
Brilliant. That was a kind donation from somebody to the Supporters Club that gave us that. Yeah. So if you've got any old shirts you want to donate to the Supporters Club, let us know and we'll find a good use for them. We might sell them on, or we might give them away as prizes. But thank you for ever donated that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
And classic, actually, isn't it? It's from the Chris Wilder era, obviously. It says a couple of signatures on there as well.
Yeah, it's fully signed.
Sign it.
There you go.
Full sign.
That'd be brilliant if he has. But that's more or less it. So yeah, get involved. We've gone up on YouTube now. We're on 130 something subscribers, and obviously it doesn't sound like much, but before this we were on like 107 before we did the giveaway, and we've done like all these like match day vlogs and stuff. Our most recent match day vlog is currently on 1.4k views, which is 1,400 views. Now that is absolutely mad. For those who are watching and enjoying them, please subscribe to the channel. It does really help us out, and we can get a lot more better things going on in the future. But yeah, that's more or less it. So let's get on with the podcast then. So to start things off, did anyone go last night to the game? What a miserable game it was.
Missed it. Well, to be honest, I left 10 minutes to the end. What happened?
Did you go, Luke?
So my story is a little bit difficult, to be honest. Yeah. So I've left Halifax a long time ago. I've not lived in Halifax since I was 18. In the meantime, I've lived in Leeds and Manchester and had season tickets when I've lived there. But I live near Warrington now, so I get over on Saturdays when I can. But absolutely gutted to miss a Tuesday night match like last night. It's not the same following it on Twitter and radio at all.
What was it? What's the greatest game you've ever seen then?
Just to put a comparison of last night, so again, way before your time, Luke, but it would have been the Garforth match, and it was right at the end of the Unibond North season. Obviously, it's in folklore really of the new club. Memories hazy on the details, but it feels like it was 3-1 down on 88 minutes, and 3 late goals won it, and that kind of laid the foundation for winning the league, and then everything that's come after it. So very pivotal moment in the club. So glad to be there for that one, and I'm sure there'll be more to come in the future.
I'm sure both of you have heard of him, but Socrates actually made an appearance for Garforth Town. I found out through my video game. I just looked on his appearances, and it showed Socrates had played for Garforth Town, and obviously that's in Leeds area. But yeah, brilliant. What's your greatest ever game you've gone to see, being a Halifax supporter?
Well, I actually went to see one years ago, Luke. It wasn't Halifax Town. I went to a game. It was Leeds versus Liverpool. Half time, it was 4-0 to Liverpool. The game finished 5-4 to Liverpool, and Leeds had a goal disallowed. So 9 goals in the game, 1 disallowed. That was quite bonkers. Just goals every 5 minutes. But I've got to say, I agree with Luke. That game at Garth was fantastic. Also, Chasetown a few years ago, Jamie Vardy, 2 goals in injury time. You know, that was something special as well.
I think games like that, the Garforth game, it feels like maybe 5,000 Halifax fans were there in the end. The amount of people that say they were there, but it was a cold night in Garforth. But for the few hundred that were there, it was pretty fantastic.
That's the thing about supporting Halifax. Obviously, when I was younger, it was like between Huddersfield and Halifax. My mates wanted to support at Huddersfield. And I just felt when I went away with Halifax, like going to Salford away, and all these games have gone away with Halifax, it feels like more were there. And it's convenient for me as well because my dad and my great uncle have been watching Halifax for God knows how long. My uncle is old enough to have been watching the 1980 Manchester City game. He's seen him beat Manchester United. All these big games. I'd love to interview him in the future about that. But yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, going to watch Halifax, and in a way, it's a family club. Like you know most people there, which is good. Where if you go to watch Huddersfield or Leeds, every week it's different people. Where Halifax, you get to know each other. You know, you're all trying to organise things. And you want the best for the club. And that's the best thing about Halifax. Everyone wants the same for the club. They come in, week out, no matter what the prices are, no matter what season tickets are, no matter where we are in the league, we get a decent support. And hopefully that can just keep going up now because we got 1,600 last night, but there were probably more there. And 443 Notts County fans. What were your opinions on that then?
Yeah.
If it'd been a Saturday, there'd been a lot more there, I think, unfortunately. The weather didn't help, did it? Because it was forecast, I think, a lot worse than it really was. But it was a good atmosphere all the same. I mean, the South Stand were fantastic last night. There's some great songs. I mean, I tweeted last night, well done to Pete Higgins. He puts the flags out and putting the flags out in those strong winds, chucking down the rain in the North Stand. Fantastic. He does it week in, week out. He's a hell of a guy. And I just think it makes such a difference. And, so I think the fans last night were brilliant. Pete Higgins, fantastic for doing that. He'll probably do it again on Saturday. And, first half, we were good. I know we were losing, but we passed the ball well. It was brilliant. And, it was deserved win, really, wasn't it? It's been injustice we didn't win.
It was just a little sloppy mistake by Sam Johnson, which sort of cost us in the first half. And obviously, we ended up winning and being 10 men. But what I really like about Pete Wild is it's like, obviously, I don't know if you've heard, but the drum, obviously, we haven't had that for a number of weeks now. We're still creating an atmosphere, but it sort of adds to the atmosphere, if you get what I mean. And him and Chris Millington have actually bought Ronan a drum, which is brilliant, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, yeah.
There's many managers that go out there and do that for the fans. So yeah, it's a great statement, and it shows that they're committed to building an atmosphere. And yeah, I think Pete was interviewed on Radio Leeds this evening, and who knows more than anyone that it's important to build that atmosphere, and that can give you that extra 5-10% when it really matters. And when you go down to 10 men, you need all the help you can get. Yeah. So I think that definitely helped.
He even stated, Pete Wild as well, he said that it's like a fortress coming to the Shay now. And he's saying, like, when teams come to the Shay, they're scared of us now. Now, that is a statement. 2-0 down against Notts County. I think 80 minutes have gone. We're 10 men down. And we still managed to pull it back 3-2. And I think the fans deserved it, to be honest, at the end of the day. To the noise we were making all game. And what was convenient for me was I was bringing a Huddersfield Town fan with me. And I think he enjoyed it as well. We were almost on the pitch at the end. And we're like saying, we're 2-0 down. We've just got to focus on Weymouth now. It's a little disappointing, but the fans have been brilliant. They probably deserve more. But then to do that and come back and win, and not just draw, because I was like, I'm happy with a point. And they looked like they were going to score. Obviously, they were that offside goal. Or was it, I think, a goalkeeper foul? I don't know. Either way, their manager was saying it wasn't. It definitely was. But, to do that and come up the other end of the pitch, and what a strike by Warburton at the end of the day. Have any of you seen that strike yet over on a replay?
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and there's a great little camera behind the goal. I think that the club had set up behind the goal. Brilliant. Did you see the goalkeeper's face? He's absolutely fed up when that ball goes in the back of the net. Everybody else celebrating. It's brilliant.
I won't repeat some of the language we were telling that keeper, but this is what I love about Halifax fans. Some fans were going to the bottom and calling alt keeper alt names, worst names you could possibly imagine. I don't think he'll ever want to come to the Shay again. Quite a small keeper, but Notts County fans, I was a little disappointed because obviously Notts County, if you're thinking of Notts County, they think they should be in like League One, maybe even Championship, to be honest. Like, obviously they were in the Premier League at one point, and they feel they should be a lot higher up than they are. But when I've gone to, is it Meadow Lane or Meadow Park? I think it's
Meadow Lane, yeah.
Meadow Lane. When I went there, it was a bit of a library, to be honest. And obviously it's a big stadium and they have it all split out. Where what's good about Halifax is obviously we don't pack out the stadium. They just give us 2 stands. So, you know, you're in with the fans. There's the crazy end, which is the south stand. And then is it the east stand where, you know, your people who just like to watch the game and not really be involved in that can go, with like your young children, etc., etc. And that's what's good about Halifax, where Notts County, they like put you all around the stadium, and it's just the away fans making all the noise because your crazy fans can't get together because they're all spread out, and that's the disappointing thing. But at the end of the day, Notts County fans, I thought they were really terrible last night, to be honest, if I'm brutally honest. What were your opinion on?
The mid-table, aren't they? Look, that's the bottom line, isn't it? You know, the mid-table team, they've been beaten twice before last night, 3 times in a row. You know, they're like Wrexham as well, they're mid-table, aren't they? It's just these clubs with lots of money and it's about winning games, not signing players. So, you know, so part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah, what were you going to say, Luke?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we've high expectations like Notts County have had for a number of years, reached the playoffs last season, obviously. They go to clubs like Halifax with much smaller budgets, and you know we've not been a league club since the turn of the millennium. So I think they expect to come here and win easily. So when things aren't going the way, it's inevitable it goes quiet. And it's a funny little aspect of Twitter these days. I think one of the favourite things if a big side is on the end of a defeat like that, you go straight to the comments of the home fans on the official Twitter feed, and just the anger and the rage and the sadness. But football's cyclical; it'll come around again, and I'm sure they'll have some successes this year and some last-minute wins. But it's always good to beat the big boys.
I will admit, Notts County fans did get on my nerves before the game, and I have been bothering them a little bit on Twitter. I don't think they'll be subbing to the channel anytime soon.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. They do the same.
If you get a chance, look, listen to BBC Radio Nottingham's coverage of the game last night. The next 29 days, you can listen to it. Their commentators are brilliant. You know, they care about their team, and there's some really good commentary on there. I've listened to the last 5 minutes of the game. It's brilliant.
Just going back to what you were saying before, Luke, about turning the Shaynes into a fortress, and I think one of the main aspects of when Town have been good down the years has been when we've had that mentality at home that, you know, we've got the crowd buy into what's happening on the pitch, into the style. You know, we've blooded some big teams' noses already this year with the Southend result, the Stockport result, scoring 3 goals against 3 massive teams really for the size of the league. So we want to get to a point now where teams are scared to visit the Shay, and if as soon as teams start playing with their backs to the wall, that just leaves it open to players like Matty Warburton to find those gaps and scoring from open play more than ever before. At the start of the season, more than ever before. We're not just relying on set pieces like we have in the past. It's a really good time to support the club, I think.
And it's good that obviously we're playing football now. Like Pete Wild does like to play football, and it's been brilliant. You actually did like a mini thing, didn't you? Like rating managers so far, and you had Chris Wild and Pete Wild as the top managers. Well, this is so far Pete Wild's record since coming in. It was updated today. 89 games for the club, won 42, drawn 17, and lost 30. And he's been fifth. He's been between 5th and 10th at the end of the season from his last 2 years. And we're in a great position now. And the thing is, even for your big sides like your Notts Counties and Wrexhams, they can't be staying. They're struggling to stay in the around the playoff mix every year. And we haven't really had a bad season for quite a while now. You have to go back to the Fullerton days when we had a bad season, I think. And even them days, we were staying in the league. And I think our fans deserve better because, yes, you could probably argue we don't get the highest attendances, but you've got sides like Leeds, Bradford, Huddersfield, even like your Burnleys and your Rochdales right next to us. So we're not going to be getting the highest attendances, but the fans that we do have, they do make a lot of noise. I will admit that. And it is brilliant. And obviously you've got like Shaymen down south for the away games when we're far down south to like boost the crowd a little bit down south. Did any of you go to Barnet then?
Yeah, good atmosphere. Unlucky not to win at the last minute. I don't know if you've seen Waters, but he pretty much hit the keeper. The keeper had no idea what was going on. And sort of 5 minutes before that, I think he hit a shot, hit one of the defenders on the legs, could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, given I think they had 8 players out, I think they've said.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, you know. And we got beat down the last year, didn't we? 1-0. So
yeah.
Was that just ahead of the Torquay game, wasn't it, last year? As doom and gloom on the Tuesday night, and then that was up there as well, I guess, with some highlights last year or two. That
because it was because Summerfield were out injured, wasn't it? And we were like, oh god, our season's gone. And it was like, right, we've lost to Barnet. And then we went to Torquay and we won against Torquay. And like, our season's back on now. And then from then, it was just going up and up and up, and it was brilliant. But back to this season now, it's been perfect. And obviously, my dad, he went to Barnet and I was watching Scarborough. The funny thing is, he was joking about, I'm going to Barnet. When all along I was the one pestering him before I knew I was going to go watch Scarborough play. And then he put on the forum, can you pay on the gate at Barnet? And I think it's your mate, Rob, is it? Noble, something Noble. What's he got? I'm not exactly sure, but he put on, you can pay on the gate. Said brilliant last minute decision, and I was so annoyed with him because of that. I'm glad he's gone now, but and then he made the long journey down, and he loved it, to be honest. Obviously the journey wasn't the best, but he loved it. He loved going. They were like a mini bar, weren't they, where you could like get your drinks, and it was just for the away fans. And the away fans made a lot of noise. I think, was it Mark Shaw who had his top off as well?
Yeah, Mark Shaw's a right character. You know, he's got some of these Halifax Town polo shirts as well. Yeah. And he ordered some all the weekend, but he's a huge Halifax Town fan, a right character. He gets the crowd going, and, you know, I think he's well appreciated for what he does.
If he was taking his shirts off 0-0 away, what was he doing last night? Flipping out.
We don't know. I think it'd be the lower
shirt somewhere.
Probably. But disappointed he wasn't wearing his polo shirt at the time. I thought he'd be showing us off, but I'm only joking. But it's brilliant, obviously, going down south. And we took quite a decent amount of crowd, 150 something away fans, and we were making all the noise against Barnet. And it's obviously we drew 0-0, which it looks disappointing on paper because of where Barnet are in the league. But you're going to have them games, aren't you? Even your top teams. I know we're a top team now, but when you think of like your Wrexhams and your Chesterfields, they're going to have them games as well where they draw 0-0 and they think, we should have won that game. But according to my father, we did play really well that game, which is another positive to the game as well. And the fans, it was just a good game for the fans away. And then obviously the following Tuesday to do that against Notts County, that makes up for it. I just hope we can win against Weymouth on Saturday now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Barnet are another of those clubs that fit into the same kind of mould as Notts County, that, you know, they came down under calamitous circumstances from League Two in kind of financial disarray and all kinds of stuff. And then was Harry Kewell in charge there at the start of the season, and then he's been released. So I think the new manager's only been there 2 or 3 days, but 2 or 3 games. But seems to have firmed it up and stopped leaking goals. And as Rob was saying, it's that Billy Waters late chance is the difference in 3 points and 1 point. But you know, you got to take a point away and under those circumstances when you can.
It's better than a loss, isn't it?
It keeps that momentum up. So got to be happy with a point there.
Perfect. Yeah. Moving on a bit about Jamie Cook now. Now I went to Scarborough the following Tuesday as well. I went to Scarborough versus FC United because my mate's a Scarborough fan. And I was hoping I'd get to see Jamie Cook in action. I can do a bit of a scout report on him, blah, 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 and get to see him play. And then the club said, he's gone to Matlock now. So I was a little disappointed there. But it was a decent away day, to be fair, FC United. But he's gone to Matlock now, and he's smashing it there as well, which is brilliant.
Absolutely. I think, sorry, Luke, after you.
Go on, Rob.
I was Pete Wild's, really good at what he does what he says, doesn't he? He says he'll get a player and he'll get him out on loan. And he'll bring him through. Looked like Jack Earing a few years ago. He put him out on loan, didn't he? Following year, came back, was flying, and I think he's got a track record of doing that.
Yeah.
And he said at the beginning of the season, they've got some youngsters, they'll run around, they get stuck in. The team are doing exactly what he said, and fantastic stuff.
And it all adds up as well. I think this goes back to what a great job Wales doing at attracting either young players or players that have kind of slipped down the leagues from academies. Jack Earing being a great example of that, where you can now use these examples that he's brought these players in, sent them out on loan. They've had positive experiences on loan, comes back into the team fit, firing, ready, and then in summer it's a great shop window to then get with a league team. So it's a conveyor belt. It's hard to keep up that conveyor belt, but definitely Pete seems to have got the Midas touch for finding some absolute gems at the budget that we're playing with. It's a great, and Jamie Cook could be the next Jamie Vardy. We don't know, but
you never know. Has the Jamie in it, but it's brilliant that as well, because obviously we know at the end of the season, unless we get to the Football League, players will leave. Billy Waters might leave, he might stay, we don't know yet. Players like Slew might leave, and we can't keep players like this. But it's brilliant that, because all the fans on the forum, if I'm honest, people who are watching now, they were complaining at the season and saying, I'm not going to pay for my season ticket unless we start doing some proper business. Now Billy Waters is proper business. He's doing better than that Cabango to Shamanga. Paul Mullin is doing better than Jake Idey's doing better than. It was funny because I saw Wrexham, like a Wrexham podcast. He's a nice guy, and he was saying Billy Waters, Jordan Slew, Warburton, they're not the same level as Hyde. They won't be able to get the same goals as Hyde put together. So far, all three of them have scored just as many goals as Hyde. I think Warburton's scored one less, but still, it's brilliant. I think between them, you've got 3 in Slew, you've got 2 in Warburton, and then you've got 9 on that FOTMOB thing in Waters. I think is that 15 goals, I think that is. And that's brilliant for the start of the season. And it's good that players like Ma are still, kicking in with goals as well with your headers. And same with Bradbury. Just a bit of a shame Bradbury's out with a red card, suspended.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a fantastic return, and I think it's the same point I'm making before about players trusting Pete and the management team. I think the fans have to do the same as well. So you're seeing Billy Waters come in, in and out at Torquay and not scoring the goals. What do you expect? And then he hits the ground running, fits into Wild's play style. He's got players around him like Warburton that are putting things not on a plate for him, but the ball in yesterday from Newby. Just you've got to trust the process, trust Wild. He's not yet had that patch of run of form that have made any fans doubt him. I don't think that might happen at some point this season, but there's no point getting on his back. You've got to trust. And I don't agree with the comments in summer where you kind of write the team off before it's even begun. I think Pete's got enough credit in the bank that you've got to trust what he's doing.
I think he'll go. I think even if he don't get us into the Football League, which I'm hoping he will someday, I think he has to go down in Shaymen folklore in a way, because obviously you've got other managers, haven't you? You've got Chris Wilder, you've got Mullall, who obviously with the 98 season, which were brilliant. But Pete Wild is doing a magnificent job. And even when you go back to the Jamie Fulton days, now I think some of the fans actually thank him in a way, because we went into full time and he made it the club professional. He made us professional side that wanted to compete. And we were the lower side of the table, but he made us play football. And his time at the club didn't end in the best way. I think a few of the fans were glad to see him go, but still, he's now looking back, he has done quite a lot for the club. And I think the last managers have, like Billy Heath, I think he was perfect for the club because he needed a manager to get us out of that league. And then he kept us up. I think, did he stay there 2 seasons in the National League? I'm not exactly sure, remembering now. But you've got a manager there who's got you back in the league, brought in the right players. He did brilliant. And then now on to Pete Wild, who's a young, hungry manager who loves the club, a passionate guy who obviously loves Halifax. And it's brilliant. And we're now going in the right direction, because before he came in, we were a lower league side in this league. And now we're aiming to try and get promoted. Never mind playoffs. I know I'm getting a bit carried away here, but we might. I know it's early, and I know I said this a couple of seasons ago. We might win the league. You never know. Obviously, there's Grimsby in front of us.
I think me and Rob have been around a few more years than you, Luke. Like that is some youthful enthusiasm there, gone crazy. But it has happened. There's teams that have won it in recent times. Barrow would be an example where they weren't fancied at the start of the season. They probably weren't fancied even at Christmas. But momentum and team spirit can go a long way. But we don't have Hollywood owners, do we? With endless budget to spend in January, things aren't going quite well down over in Wales.
I'd rather we didn't have Hollywood owners in a way, because there's not any expectations on us. If we get to the Football League, then it's a magnificent achievement, which I'm hoping we will. And if we do get there, I can't see us coming back down as long as if we have Pete Wild and we manage the same. But yeah, I am getting a bit carried away now. It's just about getting out of this league in the
enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. We do. It has been good the last 3 seasons under Pete Wild. Obviously, last season we started quite poor. I think, did we even have a win this stage last season? I'm not even exactly sure. I think after 10 games, I think we had 1 win against Dagenham, and we were struggling. We were near the bottom of the league, and we managed to nearly make playoffs last season. And then the season before, we were top of the league for the first couple of months, and it were brilliant. And they were us, Woking, Bromley, all these sort of sides. Them 2 slipped off. We started slipping off, but we still managed to make playoffs. And then, obviously, the devastating thing with Bournemouth were a little disappointing. But yeah, it's good that we are still there now. We're still wanting to try get in the league, and I'd love another Wembley trip. Best way to go up is the playoffs.
Definitely. Just to go back to one of your original points about Wild and why is he so good? What's he doing at the moment that's so good? I think the key thing for me is just how he's been able to reinvent the team season after season. Well, two summers having some of your key players leave for whatever reason, whether it's in the case of Clark, retirement or semi-retirement at the time. Hyde, Earing, King, to have the core of the team ripped out summer after summer. But then have the network and the aptitude to then find replacements and slot them in, change the play style radically in 2-3 years from what Jamie Fullerton and Billy Heath and that kind of legacy. I think that says a lot about Pete Wild. I think is probably the best kept secret in non-league football at the moment.
Definitely.
It's a bit of a worry if your Rochdales or other League One kind of Lancashire teams need a new manager in the next season or so. But I think his relationship with Halifax works as well. That he's a young manager that's been given a platform. He's been given the freedom by David Bosworth and the board to spend money where it's been needed. It seems like he's been able to implement lots of grassroots and youth aspects that he's been given that freedom to do. And he's gone away and done a masters and all that kind of stuff as well. So he's quite a obviously a really in form and maybe in demand young manager, but let's hope we get to see even better from him at the Shea.
Brilliant, yeah. Have you been to a game so far this season, or have you not managed to get up yet?
I've not personally. I'm going to Weymouth on Saturday.
Are you going all the way down?
Say again, sorry.
Are you going all the way down to Weymouth?
No, so the home game on Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's home minutes. Sorry, I'm talking.
That'll be a bit extreme. You threw me off there. I was like, no. My oldest son is just turned 5 and he's not been to a league. He's not been to a game. He went to the Stockport game, but he's not been to a game with a full crowd at the Shea. So hoping we get a good atmosphere on Saturday, and it gives him the bug in the same way that obviously you've got the bug as well, Luke.
Yeah. Good. It is the bug. That is exactly what we do say. But yeah, you're standing in South, or you're going in the East Stand?
Probably the East Stand on Saturday. So my dad's got a season ticket and my nephew's got a season ticket as well. So a few friends and family still go down. So it should be a nice reunion, especially with COVID and everything like that, and the absence of fans. It'll be great to be back.
Let's just hope we can get the 3 points, because there's no point beating Notts County on a Tuesday and then losing to Weymouth the following Saturday. So we need to enjoy it while it lasts the next few days. It is going to go down as one of them games that you remember for a very, very long time. I'm sure Shaymen Stats is all over it at the minute, but we do need to focus on Saturday now. Looking at the forum here now, I put a post out a couple of days ago. What's your opinion on the start to the season under Wild and why we've clicked? And there's been loads of positive stuff. Obviously, there's been the odd people who are just putting absolute rubbish, and you just don't listen to them. They do always like to find something that they can argue about, but there isn't much at the minute. To be honest, there's nothing that I could say that's negative about us at the minute. Obviously, injuries are going to start kicking in the next couple of weeks, and so there will be a time where Billy Waters might get injured or Jordan Slew, and that's when you've got Vale, who obviously he hasn't even got an opportunity yet, and he's meant to be really good. Obviously, he's on international duty at the minute. He comes back, he might be prolific. We don't know yet, and that's when them sort of players, him like Jamie Allen, needs to step up when players start getting injured. And I think the only worry for me at the minute is that centre half, because Tom Bradbury is out injured. He might chuck Kieran Green back to centre half for Saturday.
I've no idea, Luke, about them sort of things. I just think give somebody a shirt, give them a football, and let's cheer them on. You know, and I think Pete Wild once said, didn't he, that the difference between 4-4-2 and 3-5 during a Christmas tree is about 5 yards. So, you know, it's about commitment, players getting stuck in, and as long as they're doing that and giving the best, you know, it doesn't matter where they play, does it? You know, I mean, look at Sam Johnson last night, who was playing centre midfield at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's left back.
Yeah, by all accounts, it sounds like Green stepped back into when Bradley went off and put in a John Terry style performance, last gaff tackles and blocks and all that kind of stuff. So I think that speaks to the team spirit that Wild has bought players that are dynamic and can play in multiple positions across the back and push up if needs be. So again, I might need some reinforcements on loan. Yeah, if any more injuries could kick in, but I think Tom Bradbury should just be out for one game, I guess, if it was a straight red. So hopefully be back pretty soon.
2,000 fans would be a good look, wouldn't it?
2,000, that's brilliant. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were more there for tax reasons. They might have lowered it. But
let's not talk about that.
There were a lot there. There were a lot there.
We want those fans that are, you know, listening to the radio and watching it on TV and teletext and stuff like that to get down and support the team, because if you don't go and watch them now, you know, it don't get much better than this. And who's to say that we won't beat Weymouth, you know, 5-0, 6-0? You know, it could be anything, couldn't it? You know, it might be 1-0, but it's exciting football.
It'd be brilliant. And I'm just it is a little disappointing at the minute, and I think it might be prices in a way, obviously being £21. In my opinion, obviously, I'm not the one spending the money on season tickets. It's me, dad, and my great uncle. But in my opinion, I feel it's about supporting the team at this moment. And I think, the more fans we can get in there, the better. And that's the good thing about the club. Now, a couple of seasons ago, we were getting 2,000. I think we nearly hit 2,500 fans, just Halifax fans, which were brilliant. And that were a couple of seasons ago. And there are a lot of Halifax fans out there, like down south, aren't they, like yourself? And it's brilliant. And it's good because when you've got your games, like when we went to Wembley at the time, I'm sure both of you went to that game, we had like 10, there might have even been more, at least 10,000 Halifax fans there.
Yeah, definitely. This weekend as well is a great opportunity after the social media attention on Tuesday night, and then with it being an international week, Leeds, Huddersfield, Bradford, all these teams have got no games. So we encourage any local fans to get involved. It'd be good to see the club do some kind of incentive that they've done in the past.
That's something I'd like to see that, because obviously I think we did it, when COVID happened, and the Halifax game were the only televised game in Britain.
The last ever game,
and that were brilliant, and we didn't perform, which is not very good, but it were really good. And what they did, I think they said if you bring your season ticket from like Leeds, Huddersfield, Bradford, Burnley, Rochdale, you can come in, and I think it got reduced. And if they did that again for Saturday and pushed to try and get more fans in, go around the schools maybe in Halifax, we could be getting some very good numbers for Saturday. And the South Stand is rocking. And once we've got that drum back, it's going to be a fortress to share, which it already is, but even more so. But moving on to a bit about the forum now. Now, this was from a fan here. So far, it shows you don't need big money signings who tend to play as individuals and not as a team. Pete Wild has put together a team on one level who play for each other and knock the ball about at a good pace. Hope it continues. And that's brilliant from, obviously, the fans there. And it is, because it's like Stockport, they came. They won't be a together group. They'll be just wanting to get their place and getting their pay, getting their wage at the end of the week. Halifax, they're all best mates. I see them on social media. They're all best mates. They go out for dinner together. In the spare time, they get on. And it's brilliant. And ever since Pete Wild's come in, it has been like that. And I don't think it's about necessarily making your place in the team. Obviously, it is that you have to have that competitive side of the game, but it's about what's best for the team. And like some games, you might play green because you're against a big physical side, where other games, when Summerfield's back, it might be Luke Summerfield playing because you're like the better side. And that's what I like about Halifax. It's more tactical, and it's not necessarily about who the best player is and why they have to start. And that's what I like about us, and I think it's brilliant. And that's the thing, Stockport, Notts County, Wrexham spent all this money. The only side that really spent a ridiculous amount of money that are doing well so far is Chesterfield, and we haven't spent a ridiculous amount of money. All our players are on frees, and we're still doing exceptionally well with Billy Waters. Now, I bet Wrexham wish they bought Billy Waters and not Jake Hyde now, wasting all that money.
Yeah, sure. It's all about that balance, you know. Yeah. Jake Hyde, we gutted when he left at the time. He was probably one of my picks if he was fully fit to really lead the line and score 20 goals. But yeah, it just goes back to the point we made before around, you know, it's about finding that mix of players that are motivated in the right way. It's great to see the players seem so close on social media and so on. And I think wins will breed that kind of atmosphere. And Notts County seen the opposite of that yesterday. They were, as soon as the first goal went in from Jordan, it seemed to be heads down, defeated already, even though they had a man advantage. So again, the crowd give you that extra 5%, and I think if you've got that team spirit that Wild seems to have cultivated, then that can go a lot longer, a lot further than pure money and pure wages.
Would both of you say was the best manager you've seen since the club reformed? Obviously, you knew a bit more about Neil Aspin than me because I was very young last time when I was seeing him play. I did get to see, not see him play, so he managed the team. I did go to games when he was managing, but I was quite young then. Obviously we're a different time, we're in a different league. Would you compare Pete Wild and Neil Aspin? Would you say Pete Wild edges, or would you say Neil Aspin, or don't you think it's fair to compare?
Go Rob.
I don't honestly think it's fair to compare. I mean, Neil Aspin worked wonders for what he did. Yeah. He brought the club against. He had some players that were, not famous when they joined, but they're famous when they left, wasn't they? And he brought the league very tricky. We were up against teams where it was their cup final every week. Everybody wanted to beat us. Amazing achievement, Neil Aspin, and I think he deserves the credit, and the esteem we hold him in. I think. Wild is completely different, but he does what it says on the tin, and I can't knock him. It's brilliant, And he said at the beginning of the season, the guys are going to have a go. They're going to get stuck in. They're youthful. They'll be more athletic, and there's not a single word or single promise he made at the beginning of the season he hasn't kept. And the team are really exciting to watch. So different managers, and I think both have got their own abilities. But I'm pleased we've got. Pete Wild at the moment. I think he's a really exciting young manager.
Brilliant. And it's good that he's so passionate about the club, like I was saying earlier. We've got another one from the forum here, and I picked this one out because it does really stand out to me. Doing very well at the moment, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. So there will be ups and downs. Let's hope for more ups up the Shaymen. And what really stands out for me is the fact that there will be ups and downs. And like I was saying earlier, Billy Waters will get injured. We've got players like Vale, and there's even like Jamie Cook, who, if worse comes to worse, we can call him back, and I'm sure he'd do a decent job. And something that I do remember as well, Pete Wild actually said he wants to save a budget, because last year he sort of didn't save a budget. He spent all that money on like your Jake Hyde, your Kieran Greens, all the money on Neil Burns, all these players. And now we're disappointed to see Neil Burns and Jake Hyde, but I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. But he spent a lot of his money at the start of the season. And then after that, the only players that really I thought were good for us that came in were Billy Chadwick, who was on loan, and Niall Bell. I might have missed somebody there who came in, but there were quite a few players for me that weren't quite good enough for the club. Where now we've got a team that's good enough, and we've still got a budget to play with, where we can sort of bring players in, where we're not having to bring players that aren't quite good enough and desperate signings, in my opinion. I think that's the correct word. And that's the good thing about us this season under Pete Wild. And every season he has a different plan, and that's the good thing. And I'm just really hoping it will work this season, like it did a couple of seasons ago, obviously. When you started with McAlinden, didn't you, and all them sort of players. We started well, and then we had a couple of injuries. McAlinden left at Christmas, went on quite a bad run, to be honest. And then Pete Wild saw that the fans wanted Devante Rodney, who were there the previous season, had a good end to the season coming on loan from Salford, and he brought him back. And then they were him and Redshaw, and that strike partnership, it were brilliant. And I think that's the good thing about having a plan B. And hopefully, if an injury does happen this season, we have got that plan B, bringing in players.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to get too attached to players sometimes at this level, which I guess is a bit different to Sporting Huddersfield or Bradford, where you've got players on 3-4 year contracts that they might go on for money and so on. But yeah, especially with the loan market, Wild's got to play it. There's going to be some wins in there. There's going to be some players that don't hit the ground running, and then they're gone a month later. But just some of those names you've listed there, Luke, your Devante Rodneys that's smashed them in for Port Vale, and McAlinden, who I'm not sure where he is now, but obviously got his Football League move. Halifax, the best thing we can do, one of the best things we can do at the moment is say we are a platform. Other teams are looking at us. We play a good brand of football. You're going to score goals here. You just can't get too attached to some of these players, but as long as they do the job on the pitch and they give the 100% for Halifax while we're paying them and they're doing it for the fans, then there's not much loyalty in football at the end of the day, and especially at our level, with money and these guys have lives just like anyone. It's good that I think one really good thing about this season as well, which I can't remember in the 20 years I've been Sporting Town, there have been so many local lads in the team with Senior and Kean Spence and some of the new lads that are coming through the youth. And that, I think, adds an extra spice to the crowd getting behind them, because we know these aren't just journeymen that are coming because there was nowhere else that would take them. They know the area and want to do well for the club. So really big credit to the youth development side of things that have been doing really great work for a number of years. And great to see them in the first team doing well.
Yeah, we've got a few more people in the chat now joining us. A few more now putting stuff in the chat. If you want to put anything in the chat, we'll discuss it about what you think so far. But yeah, moving on now. So I've got another one here. Oh, don't tell me I've lost it. I think I've lost it. But Rob, do you have anything to say?
I think what's really important is we talk about budgets, but if people get on the share and actually support the club, that really gives the club options to do stuff. And if we had 2,500 fans down there on Saturday, that gives the manager and the team and the club options later on the season, doesn't it? So it's easy to sit and say the club aren't doing so well, or this ain't going right, or that ain't going right. But there are plenty of ways to support the club, and if you can get down the game on Saturday and get through the turnstiles, not only does it improve the atmosphere, it'll also give the club the opportunity to have more options later on the season. So why would these players get injured? They won't. They'll be fine all season anyway. We won't need any replacements for Billy Waters. He'll have 30 this season.
He's going that way. It's 10 games, and I think if averagely he's scored 10 games, 9 goals. Is it 42 games this season? You times that by 4, you go into 36 goals. Obviously, he probably won't score that many, but you never know with Billy Waters. He's a magician, we know. But yeah, it's brilliant what we've had so far with the club. And yeah, last night it was a brilliant atmosphere for me personally. And yeah, if we can get that atmosphere even better for Saturday, then it's going to be rocking on Saturday. And you can forget like your Exhams who are getting 9.1k a match, and half of them are just fans who come along to try and get their autograph with Ryan Reynolds. When we get an atmosphere, it's because we love the club. Wrexham Chesterfield, nobody cares about that. Everyone cares about FC Halifax Town versus Weymouth on Saturday.
That's all.
But yeah, it has been brilliant so far, and I do admit that it's been a great start to the season. And then we've got Saturday. We've got quite a few games that I think we should realistically win, in my opinion. I think obviously we probably won't, because you don't win the games that you're expected to win all the time. But yeah, the games that we have got coming up, I'll read them out here. We've got Weymouth on Saturday, obviously. Then we've got Solihull Moors away, which I will be going to, finally, away game. Then we've got Dagenham. That'll be a tough game. That and Solihull will be tough. Bromley, average side, done okay this season. And then you've got Dover, who you expected to win. So, yeah, games that I feel we should sort of do well in, and I think we should try to take quite a few points. What's your opinion on it?
I think it's some other big games as well, Luke. Ilkley Town next Tuesday night, followed by Pontefract Collieries in the FA Cup.
You've got that.
They're going to be proper big games. Pontefract Collieries, that's a great game for them. Nice little ground as well, and I think it'll be wonderful if we get down there force and really go for it, and it's important to get a cup run. That's a big game, and there's some difficult teams there in the Bromley plastic pitch. Was it 5-0 last time we went down there with fans?
where you lost.
Yeah.
So
there can be a dodgy opposition. Solihull Moors, I think they've only beaten us once in their history. I think that might be the last time they were fans, but they're difficult games, some big money for these clubs. But at the moment, if you look at that league table, it's 2 points a game, isn't it? So that's like winning home games, drawing your away games.
Yeah.
We do that, it's brilliant, And I think the manager said at the weekend, any point away from home is brilliant. So, let's not set ourselves up for a fall. Let's just say we maintain that 2 points a game. That's fantastic. If we get inside that top 10, that's a hell of an achievement for the management and his team.
It is brilliant going away with Halifax. Obviously, we've got Pontefract, which, without being disrespectful, it's not the biggest away game we're going to, but we're expected to win it. I'm hoping quite a decent amount of fans will go. 600, I'd probably expect, because obviously it's quite local, but a lot of fans won't bother because it's early rounds of the qualifying round, so they probably might not go to that. I will be going, but I understand why fans wouldn't go to that game. But it is brilliant going away with Halifax. Obviously, I've gone to quite a few away games with us. Wrexham away, I've got a load of red horns and England flags that I'll be taking to that game to create an atmosphere. I can't wait for that one on that Tuesday night. Chesterfield away. I love Chesterfield away. I remember that Tuesday night we were 3-0 up at half time, and it was an awful second half because the fans were singing all the way through the game, but they did pull it back to 3-2, and it was a very tense game, and it was brilliant that we could get all 3 points at the time. And you've got other away games as well, like Notts County. That's a nice stadium. Food's awful, but not every ground's not going to have the best food bars. But any particular games you two are looking forward to away from home?
I mean, I like the idea of going to Pontefract Collieries. I think it's a real opportunity for us to progress.
Yeah.
A real opportunity for us to effectively, make their day and give them some money, and it's a big game for them, and we should be respectful of that. If we are successful, and of course it's a challenge, isn't it? But if we are successful, first round of the FA Cup, that could be interesting, couldn't it? I think we had Bradford City one year, didn't we? I know they didn't bring
I've seen that on YouTube.
They didn't bring them full allocation that day, did they? So it was a difficult 7-mile journey for those Bradford City fans, but they all went to Chelsea later on in that season, I remember, but they didn't all come to Halifax. So, that's a real opportunity, is that Pontefract Collieries to get a bit of a cup run going. And do that. And I think also, I've not been to Oakley Town before, but next Tuesday night, I guess they'll be playing some youth team players. Be good to see what they look like, and I'm sure again he'll be setting out to give people a bit of match practice there. That would be good. So they got a plastic pitch, so it's all good fun. But I like the idea of going to Pontefract Collieries. It's good. Nice little place that.
I know the rugby team didn't even know they had a football team, to be honest. But how many fans do they usually get? Do you know?
I think it was 500 at the last round of the cup.
That's not exactly bad, I don't think. What tier are they in? Do you know?
They're in the Northern Counties East League. Yeah. I think it's the Premier Division. So I think they're like 3 steps below us.
Same as Brighouse Town. They're in that division with those teams. So just put yourself in Brighouse's shoes if that was an FA Cup game against Halifax. How big that would be for the area. So it sounds like they've done fantastic to get that far. I think they won 4-0 in the replay the other night. I know the BBC. I know there's not a live game on TV, but I know the BBC do kind of stream at least 1 or 2 kind of live games from there. I think there's 1 or 2 other kind of local derbies going on, but I think if it is picked for any kind of live TV or live streaming, they'll be eyeing up a bit of a giant killing, which isn't a phrase often associated with Halifax, but it should be always a good atmosphere, and I guess a bit of a throwback to the Unibond days for any fans that managed to go over for it.
I believe we won there 13-2 once in a game, but we ended up forfeiting the game through playing an ineligible player.
Oh, was that the Shane Smelts 5 goals?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was West Riding Cup at home. I think we beat them 13-2. Shane Smelts, you might not recognise the name, but he was a New Zealand international.
That's right.
Scored against Italy in the World Cup. But had a very, very troubled time at Halifax and the latter years of Wilder, I guess. That brings back memories. That's where I recognise Pontefract from.
I do remember my dad telling me about a New Zealand internationals that did play for Halifax Town. You don't usually get that, because New Zealand, they're not a terrible international team. I hope they're not as bad as some sides. who've played for Halifax who've gone on international duty. But yeah, it is brilliant, obviously, in this FA Cup, and I'm just hoping we can get far in it. Obviously, as in like we can get a big team in it. I remember a couple of seasons ago, Wimbledon at home, that were brilliant. Wimbledon hardly brought any fans, which were quite disappointing to say how big of a club they are. If we can just get through this round against Pontefract, which we should do comfortably. I just hope we treat Pontefract with some sort of respect, because they are a side that they will be up for the game. They'll be hoping for the best, and you never know with the FA Cup. You never know. And if we do beat them and we move on to the first round, hopefully we could get a League Two side, and then if we can beat that League Two side, it could be League One, and then even Championship. Maybe I'm getting going a bit ahead of myself now, but yeah. What are your thoughts on it then?
I'd like to see an easy team like Wrexham at home in the next round if we get through. That'd be brilliant, or even Notts County again, or even Stockport. Any of them sort of teams would be, a bit like a buyer, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. There are some huge clubs, though, aren't there, in this division now when you think of it, and a lot of like your Championship teams, like fans, they think this league it's nothing. They think it's not a competitive league. They think that fans don't sing. Well, most fans in this division do sing, and the fans that do go, they're passionate fans, and it's what I really like about this division. But it's just so hard to get out of, and the amount of sides that are stuck down here, because you think that we shouldn't be in this league. There's some huge clubs that shouldn't be in this league that have even been in the Premier League, like Notts County. You've had Stockport, who've been high up in the past. You've got Wrexham, who feel they should be higher up. Obviously, they've been stuck down here for a number of years now. You've got Chesterfield, they were in League One not long ago. Southend, Grimsby, some huge clubs there. And then you've got like Torquay, feel they should probably get back into the Football League. And yeah, it's just such a hard league to get out of, and I'm just hoping that one day we can get out of this league and hopefully stay out of the league.
Yeah, definitely. I think the National League's really easy to get into. All it takes is, a slippery slope when you're in League One and League Two and a bad season and you're down. But getting out of there is an absolute nightmare with obviously the one automatic, and then the playoff system, which you might need 4 games to actually win. It's an absolute lottery, and then you get surprise packages like we've had in the past. And they get into the playoffs. You've got the big money teams, so it's great to see Halifax for the last 3 years under Wild have been punching above our weight, and long may it continue.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. And obviously, like I was saying, it is just so hard to get out of this division when you think of all the big clubs in this division. There's a lot of sides that were in this division. That you've got Luton who win the Championship now. Same with Bristol City. There's a lot of sides who win this division, and once they get out of this division, they go places. You've got obviously Lincoln doing well in League One. They're trying to get in the Championship, and I remember Lincoln being in non-league not too long ago. I remember going to a game, and I think did we lose 5-0 or did we beat them 5-0? I'm not exactly sure.
It was a big win, wasn't it, at Lincoln a few years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is brilliant from our perspective. But yeah, it's been a good start to the season, which is obviously what we want, and hopefully it can continue. I think that more or less wraps it up. So thank you for both of you coming on. I do really appreciate it. It's been a good podcast, and hopefully we can get episode 2 in the upcoming weeks.
No problem.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Cheers, Luke. Cheers, Rob.
Tuned in.
Cheers tuning in.
You.